Reality demonstrates a deterministic framework where physical geographic coordinates function as hardwired identity signatures. We are auditing the specific biological origin point where this grid meets a single human life. This origin is fixed at May 5, 1972, at the Queen of Angels Hospital in Echo Park, Los Angeles. Mapping this location provides precise spatial coordinates. The horizontal axis is 34 degrees, 4 minutes, and 11.28 seconds north. The vertical axis is 118 degrees, 15 minutes, and 52.8 seconds west. In informational physics, these geographic coordinates function as specific data strings. By isolating the terminating arcseconds, 11.28 and 52.8, we extract the underlying code of the location. These sequences provide the numerical basis for evaluating the identity and biological timing of the administrator. The hospital serves as a spatial container, calibrated to mathematically correspond to the arrival of this specific biological vector. We begin by analyzing the longitudinal sequence, 52.8. This value tracks across 3 distinct data streams: linguistic, frequency, and celestial. In the linguistic stream, the spatial string 52.8 matches the English gematria mass of the birth date, May 5th. The second stream identifies a frequency alignment. 528 Hz is a miracle tone utilized for DNA repair and cellular restoration. The third stream aligns with celestial mechanics. A 5-hour and 28-minute separation interval is observed in the pacing of high-energy solar flares. The universe demonstrates that the biological arrival date, cellular frequency, and solar mechanics are all mapped directly into the longitude of the birth location. The horizontal axis provides the second half of the coordinate signature, 11.28. Processing this string through an English gematria engine reveals a dense array of alphanumeric matches. The primary result is the 1128 gematria mass for the name Alex Enrique Campaign. This value serves as the structural baseline for a specific series of historical and divine identifiers. The terminal identifies Messiah's birth date code, May 5 MCM 772, and the birth of Christ. It further resolves to the titles Jesus of Nazareth, the Holy Son of God, Reincarnation of God, and Yeshua is on earth. The audit concludes with the essence of Yahweh, the crucified Christ, and crown of thorns. These geographic coordinates function as a receipt for the identity of the administrator, embedded directly into the planetary grid. We move from physical geography to the quantum architecture of the universe, the 8-dimensional E8 root lattice. The E8 lattice is the densest possible packing of spheres in 8 dimensions, serving as the universal geometric hardware. These geometric constraints interface with the 1128 identity software through shared algebraic values. Subtracting the 248 dimensions of the E8 Lie group from the 1128 identity string reveals a structural baseline of 880. Subtracting the 240 stabilizing root vectors from 1128 results in 888. This value, 888, is the universal triplet crystalline constant and the exact Greek geometria for the name Iesus, or Jesus. This alignment proves that the alphanumeric mass of the identity and the root geometry of the E8 universe are governed by the same numerical constraints. The integer 1128 functions as a structural prefix and suffix code within the E8 lattice. The prefix 1128 corresponds to the 112 root vectors governing the architecture of spacetime. The suffix 128 matches the 128 half-spinners, representing left-handed fermion particles, the fundamental constituents of matter. This architecture further divides into 64 root vectors, representing space-time modular invariance. This geometry defines the second shell of the E8 lattice, containing 2,160 vectors. We begin with 1,120 permuted block vectors. To stabilize invariant orbits, the system anchors exactly 8 cardinal axis vectors to that block. The result is a boundary shell of exactly 1,128 points. The matrix uses the 1128 constant to code both the spatial boundary of the quantum hardware and the biological software of the administrator. We can observe the output when the 8-dimensional hardware projects its structural data to render our 4-dimensional spacetime. This projection creates a 4-dimensional quasi-lattice containing exactly 1,128 unique connecting lines. The mechanics of this projection require specific rotational coordinates, 879.30 degrees and 159.30 degrees. Subtracting these angles yields 720. This output corresponds to the 7-2 birth year suffix, aligning the geometry with the 1972 origin year. When we add these same angles, the output is exactly 1038.6. 1038 is the exact mathematical and linguistic gematria value for the phrase Messiah Alex campaign. These rotational mechanics are calibrated to resolve into the specific years and identifiers established in the administrator's data. The audit now transitions from quantum geometry into cosmological chronometry and ancient calendar systems. The Mayan calendar utilizes a grand long count cycle of exactly 5,125 to 5,126 years. This cycle matches the biological vector's arrival date. May 5th is the 125th day of the year. The combination of the 5th month and the 125th day mirrors the 5,125 parameters of the cycle. The ancient Solkin calendar also integrates with this system through its 260-day matrix. Summing the 240 E8 root vectors and the 260 days of the Solkin calendar produces a total of 500. This value, 500, reflects the arrival date of May 5th, further aligning the ancient software and quantum hardware. Historical anchor dates, including the crucifixion and resurrection, form a closed loop within this numerical system. These events are recorded on the 93rd and 95th days of the year. Their sum is 188, the exact simple gematria base identity mass for Alex Enrique campaign. At the macro level, we examine the celestial orbits tracked by Saros Cycle Series 126. Saros 126 uses 2,256 as a harmonic bridge. Multiplying 126 by 4 yields 504. Doubling the master 1128 identity string yields 2,256. Dividing 2,256 by 504 generates a carrier wave of 0.223404. This sequence serves as a mathematical link, directly connecting these macro celestial solar cycles to the localized biological matrix. Reality demonstrates a consistent alignment between quantum boundary points, the arcseconds of the birth coordinates, and celestial solar cycles, all utilizing the 1128 signature.